Would it be Ryan the Great? And today we are talking about the Eagles' win last night over the Green Bay Packers. If you guys did not see it yesterday, I was streaming that game. I'm going to be streaming it again tonight. The game against the Colts and the Steelers should be, I guess, a half-decent game. I expect the Colts to come out of that one pretty easy, though. So we're going to talk about the game last night, what my thoughts are, what I thought on the Eagles' run game. We're going to get a little bit into Packers and Jordan Love, so we'll talk about that. I'm sorry, but oh my God. But before we talk about that, guys, make sure you subscribe with your post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother, Liam the Great Vlogs. Liam just got a new YouTube account, so make sure you guys go subscribe to that. And make sure you follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So, Jalen Hurts only completed 57% of his passes. But he only did throw the ball 26 times, so that could have been, an account there. But the run game from him was absolutely incredible. He knew when to run, and he was able to avoid the hits. Once again, as I've said in the past, I don't want him running the ball 17 times. But once again, just like last week, I'm going to have to make an exception because it helped the Eagles win the game, and it really elevated them so much in the stat sheet and in the box score. Got a lot of yards off the run and had over 300 yards total on the ground and in the passing. You obviously want that from your quarterback in today's NFL because now running has been so much, inflicted into a quarterback's game. You have to be able to run and to pass, and Jalen Hurts is clearly capable of doing that. Miles Sanders, let's go, baby. I'm really hyped because Steichen, it was a lot better play calling from last week. He finally ran the ball through Dickerson and Mailata. I said that before the game. They should do it. Maybe I'm secretly the Eagles' offensive coordinator. We don't know. I could be working upstairs. We don't know. But anyway, he had 21 carries for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. A lot of credit I do give to the offensive line for that. Kelsey as well, give him credit. He's proving why he is pretty much the Eagles' entire offense. Dickerson had a really good game blocking for Sanders. Mailata, he blocked up field, so he did really good in that category. But let's give some credit, though, to Sanders, not just to the offensive line. As I always say, I'll always give credit to the offensive line when a running back has a good play or a good game. But Sanders did a really good job. He didn't let anybody wrap him up, and if they did, he just kind of bounced off of them. He was able to get cut to the outside really great, so that was good. Just an overall really good game, and he didn't let anybody tackle him with the legs. He kind of just, ran through it. Sanders, he was able to find the open hole, did a really good job. You got to give some credit to Sanders. He's now 5th in rushing yards. I think he's only it's got to be close to 100 yards away from 1,000 yards this year. And we're only in, week 12 we're going into or something like that. So let's give some credit to Miles Sanders, you know what I mean? Speaking of the offensive line earlier, Jason Kelsey, once again, leading the run game. He's pretty much the Eagles' offensive line. He's a great blocker upfield, and that's what I also like about Cam Jurgens. I don't know why I'm bringing him up, but they do it both. They both do it really well. Give some credit to Landon Dickerson. He made some good blocks there too, as I just said. The pass protection was not that great, other than Lane Johnson, who blocked pretty much everybody in his way. I don't think he's allowed. I said some statistic where he isn't allowed to sack this year, so he's 100% going to make a Pro Bowl. And also, don't give him just credit on the pass block. He did really good run blocking. He ran around and was able to block out guys like Quay Walker and Smith. So, they did really good. And he did really good in that category. Johnson proving why he is a Pro Bowler right now, and I think he is one. Yada, yada, yada. I appreciated the involvement of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, but I think they could have done just a little tiny bit better. Smith had 4 catches for 50 yards, but he did have 9 targets. I don't think that's that amazing. 9 targets, only 4 catches. While it's not really his fault on some of the passes, they were a little underthrown to him. It's all right, but, some of them I thought he could have grabbed. I don't really know. We'll have to see in the coming weeks of what he can do. But he's getting more yards off of his catches, which is something he struggled with earlier in the season, so that's really good. A.J. Brown, 4 catches for 46 yards, but the fumble kind of overshadowed that. Pretty sure he had 6 targets, something like that. We got to pick this up, A.J. He's fumbled the ball 2 weeks in a row. We're not we're just, I don't know. Something's wrong. We're not getting open enough. I don't know what the problem is. He did have a nice touchdown, which did help the Eagles. Obviously, nice out route he ran there in the end zone. So that definitely kind of overshadowed his fumble, and because also the Eagles won. But anyway, yada yada. Quez Watkins, I felt he should have been targeted more in the second half because they were pretty much double teaming A.J. Brown, and they put some half decent coverage on Devontae Smith. He had a beautiful touchdown grab in the end zone. It was a little underthrown to him, but he kind of went I wonder if it wasn't over his shoulder. It was kind of more under his shoulder, if that makes sense. And he was able to grab it there. He's looking a lot better. He had I think it was 3 catches for I don't remember how many yards. He's looking a lot better than what he did in the Commanders game. And he hadn't even really looked that bad in the Commanders game. The only problem was that he fumbled the ball and pretty much cost the Eagles the game. So that was the only really big problem. My defense, Jeff's kiss. They did give up 33 points, but the last touchdown to Christian Watson, I really felt that was more of a fluke. Epps and I forget who else was helping him out there. They, for whatever reason, just couldn't tackle him. I don't understand it. They couldn't catch up with him. Anyway, it should have been around 26, but I'm okay. It's fine. First, my beautiful defensive line. The Eagles held Jones to 3.5 yards per carry, and Dillon, he did have 8 yards per carry, but he only had 8 carries, which is while Jones did have 12 carries. So I think if Dillon had more carries, then he probably would have not averaged as much yards per carry. Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, I didn't see too much impact from them, but they did hold Jones to 3.5 yards per carry, so it's obvious that they're making some sort of impact and doing something right there. The pass rush was really good. It's been a lot better. 3 sacks, and the Eagles applied a lot of pressure to Aaron Rodgers, forcing him into bad decisions like those 2 interceptions. Fletcher Cox and Hassan Reddick, they applied a lot of pressure to Aaron Rodgers. Cox had a sack, I think he had a tackle for loss as well. So hopefully he's going to come out of his shell, proving why the Eagles should re-sign him. Hassan Reddick had a half a sack with Brandon Graham. He had a nice game. Hassan Reddick finally applying more pressure. Graham, he was okay. He got that 1 pressure on Rodgers, but that was really about it. So if the Eagles can apply this amount of pressure on the quarterback, then they'll be fine. Also, they used a lot of hand movement, which I thought was really good. Robert Quinn was in the game a few times. I really didn't see much from him. I was a little upset about that. But what are you going to do? It is what it is. The pass rush was pretty good. The linebackers, I thought they were all right today. TJ Edwards, I don't really know. I give him my opinion on Hassan Reddick already. TJ Edwards didn't have the game he's been having. Had 6 total tackles. Not too impressive, but he's still tied for 10th in tackles right now in the NFL. So, I guess it's all right. Whatchamacallit? I'm sorry here. Kazir White, I didn't see anything nor good nor bad. He kind of just, really didn't do much. Didn't really make much of an impact at all. My secondary, though, that's a different story we got to talk about. The only time I didn't see the secondary do good, which was the 4th quarter, when they kind of stopped trying. I'm not saying that's okay. I obviously think that you have to try for all 60 minutes, obviously. But I'll just let it slide for today. This is the regular season. They really put their best effort in the playoffs. I think we all know that. Slay, he was straps on Lazard. Let's not get confused. He only had 2 catches. He had to tip up to Hosea Scott. My man Hosea Scott. Let's give Hosea Scott some props. He didn't do that great in coverage, but he got that interception. He was able to track the ball really well. Slay, I don't think he knew where the ball went, but Scott was able to track the ball nice. So he did all right in that sense. Bradbury, he was shut down on Christian Watson. Don't tell me that Christian Watson had 110 yards and a touchdown, because that was when Marcus Epps was covering. Don't try to be slick on me. I love my boy Bradbury. Well, I used to not like him, but now I love him. He's done really well this year, and he was up to the challenge that, I kind of gave to him before the game. I'm a little concerned for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He did have that rib injury, and I thought it was a leg injury when I saw it, and I got very concerned because obviously leg injuries for receivers and running backs and secondary guys, they're very devastating. Not too much concern though, because this guy Blankenship had a really good game. What the hell? He had an interception where he read Rodgers' eyes perfect. That's something that not many secondary guys can do. And he had a tackle where Jones, I think, could have picked up a lot more yards than anticipated, or could have picked up a lot more yards than, I don't know. But he should have picked up a lot of yards on the one play that Blankenship had his tackle. So I thought the secondary had a really nice game. yeah, I thought overall the Eagles played really well, put up 40 points. I mean, you can't really beat that. Hurts, yeah, Hurts had a really good game. And the bottom line, Hurts is an MVP candidate, I'm sorry. Still, the run game seems unstoppable, and the defense, especially the secondary, is dominating. So yeah, the Eagles look great, 10-1. You got Tennessee next week. You relatively held Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon down, only 106 yards rushing between the both of them, and obviously they are two of the best running backs in the game, so I think they did really well. You got Derrick Henry next week in a high-powered rushing attack, so let's take that down. The Packers, they have a lot more than a loss to deal with, let me tell you guys something. Rodgers did not play well at all, and when Jordan Love got a little bit of a chance, he converted. He dominated. Well, not dominated, but he played really well. Had over a 90 quarterback rating, a touchdown pass. I don't really know what you do. Do you bench Rodgers or do you stick with Jordan Love? I mean, I say go with Love because Rodgers is injured. You're a $200 million quarterback. I mean, you got to win. I mean, I don't know if you want to win. I think the season is pretty much over, in my opinion. You're 4-8, so I don't really know, but I think they should go with Love. Anyway, the run game was pretty terrible. 106 yards and only 40 yards on the ground for Jones. That's just not like him on 12 carries. But I feel like 12 carries, though, was not enough for him. He probably should have ran the ball like a lot more. But he really couldn't get anything going on the carries that he did have. He did a receiving touchdown, though, which was good, I guess. The receiving core really only got going in the fourth quarter. Watson had pretty much all of his catches in the fourth. I think he did have all his catches in the fourth. Lazard only 2 catches, nothing special. Obviously, nothing special there. The defense, they couldn't stop a cold, especially the Eagles' run game. They had 40 dropped on them. They couldn't stop Kelsey or Dickerson or Miles Sanders. They couldn't wrap him up to save their lives. The bottom line, somehow you now have a QB controversy in the middle of the season with a 4-8 record, and the Packers now have their work cut out for them, and I don't think it's looking good. Alright, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you subscribe with your post notifications on. Let's go, baby. We're 10-1. Let's keep this going. We got Tennessee next week. Let's go, baby. Yeah, go subscribe to my brother Randy the Great Blogs. Once again, he made a new account, so I'll put that link in the description. Make sure you follow me on Twitch at Randy the Great Podcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.